Max, Week 4 Game of the Week. Revo brings his Jaguars into Cincinnati to take on Trey Day 421 and the Bengals. And this was a good one for one of these guys. You'll see who pretty soon here, so let's just get right into it. Jags start with it. It's 3rd and 3 now, and Trevor Lawrence spots tight end Dan Arnold on the in route 11 yards away and zips it in there. That's good for a first down, and Jacksonville's off to a decent start in this battle under the lights. A couple of plays later, we get our first good look at Travis Etienne Jr. He had a brilliant game, and this was just one of his nice plays to set the tone. He takes it up the middle and across midfield for a gain of 10. He'd be marked down at the 41-yard line, and Revo looks poised to open up the scoring early. Another Jags 3rd down now, and they're going back to the air. Lawrence gets it to his man. That's wide receiver DJ Shark, but Bengals safety Jesse Bates lowers the boom on him and pops the ball out. That is a beautiful play on 3rd down, which sets up this field goal attempt for Revo. And I say it practically every time I show one of these. If I'm showing you a field goal attempt, you pretty much know how it's going to go. That one was way off, and I mean not even close, and the Bengals take over at their 44. They lost about half a yard on 1st down, so here they are on 2nd, and one first-round pick is about to connect with another one here. Joe Burrow hits Jamar Chase for 20 yards, and for those of you in Cincy, get ready to hear that a lot and for a long time. Very bright futures ahead for both of these gentlemen, no doubt. As for the present, though, maybe a little less bright. Burrow's going to step way up in the pocket and toss a weird one to the right side. Unfortunately, it's also an illegal one, so push him back a few yards. It's 3rd and 14, and what do you do on 3rd and 14? You pass. You know it. I know it. Trey knows it, but unfortunately for him, Revo also knows it, and he is on it here. This is Rayshon Jenkins. He's going to go up and come down with the football, so 2 possessions, 0 scores, and Revo gets another chance to open it up first, starting on his own 26. Lawrence had some decent success throwing it last drive, so he's going to try to do it again, but no one's open, so he says, screw it, I'm doing it myself. I don't need that block R1, thanks anyway. Takes a pretty big hit at the end of the play, too, but holds onto the ball. It's a beautiful piece of running by the rookie, and that play is good for 15 yards. 3rd and 13 here, and Lawrence hits Etienne coming across from the left side, but that's only good for 8 yards, and 3rd and 13 means you need to get 13. So they're a bit short, but they're probably in field goal range, right? Yeah. Refer to the rule I mentioned earlier. When I show you a field goal attempt, you pretty much know what's going to happen, and it's not good for the guy kicking the ball. Well, it happened here, and after 3 possessions and 7 minutes, this game is still scoreless. And when you see the final, you will not believe that that was the case, but it was. You just saw it. Anyway, Bengals have it now at about midfield, and they do not want to stay at midfield for long. Burrow shows why they drafted him 1st overall and hits his halfback Joe Mixon in stride for a huge gain. He's taken down at the 14, and maybe we will have some scoring in the first after all. Okay, no, we won't, but it's 2nd and goal, so the Bengals got to score here, right? Shaquille Quarterman says, nope! Absolutely not. Big sack and a loss of 13 puts Trey in a bad spot, hoping for the game's first touchdown. He needs 16 yards to get it, and he just misses that mark as CJ Uzomah is stopped at the 2, but at least we're definitely going to get some points scored here finally, right? Right? No, not right. Wrong, in fact, because Bruce Miller is unable to haul this one in, and once again, another drive ends in disappointment. What is going on here? Jaguars got a long way to go if they're going to want points on this drive, but this play should make it a little easier. James Robinson scoots up the middle, and suddenly he's got a ton of daylight. That's good for 37 yards, mark him down at the 39. A couple plays later, Etienne is going to get in on the run game and break it to the right side for a gain of 20, so the Jags in just a few plays are in the red zone, but so far that hasn't mattered here in this one yet. Next play, the rookie's throwing, and Dan Arnold is catching, and he's also juking. Nice move there, gets him the Jaguars' first down into the 4-yard line. And now are we finally going to see some points? Well, yes! Travis Etienne on the option up the middle, untouched, crosses that ever-elusive white line, and after 12 minutes and 12 seconds, someone has finally scored. It's Revo, it's 7, and it's a 7-0 lead for the Jaguars. Ensuing drive, Trey's moving the ball pretty well so far. He's just about at midfield, and Burrow does eventually find a target. It's Jamar Chase, and he throws a strike, but Rudy Ford gets there and pops it out, preventing that 3rd down conversion and forcing a decision from Cincinnati, and that is a tough break. It looked like they got it there, but the defense made a play. They're going to have to make another one because Trey is going for it. Burrow sees Mixon on the right side, but once again, they can't hold on after a big hit. That's Quarterman this time for Revo, and he takes over with a short field. About a minute later, that short field is way shorter, and the Jags' lead is about to get a lot larger because Travis Etienne is open in the end zone. He makes a catch on his way to the corner, a perfect throw from Trevor, and just like that, those two huge plays by the defense have turned into 7 points and a 100% wider margin. At halftime, Jacksonville leads 14-0. Third quarter, it's about to get a lot worse for Cincinnati here. Burrow has been pretty good up to this point, just the one mistake in the first quarter that didn't result in any points against, but this one wouldn't be so harmless. Andrew Wingard picks that and takes it 35 yards to the casa, and Revo is officially in the process of blowing this one open now. The extra point is good, and it's 21-0. Trey's got to have an answer here, or this one could get ugly. Joe Mixon understands that as well as anybody, and he decides to do something about it. Big run to the left side here. He hits the hole with momentum, gets around the edge, avoiding the dive tackle, and eventually gets brought down at the 49-yard line. Maybe a shot in the arm for Trey Day and his offense, and they desperately need it, down 21. Later in the drive, they're knocking on the door, and the Madden gods will finally let them in. Joe Burrow hits Tyler Boyd for 7 yards, and the Bengals will not be shut out today. They still have a chance to win this thing, too. They're only down 2 scores, and their offense finally seems to have woken up. The play was reviewed, and it stood, so it's 21-7 Jacksonville with 4.5 minutes left to go in the third. Now, I'm not a math guy, but this play more than likely affected their chances to win it. Etienne again, and this was his biggest play of the night. 60 yards to the left side, and he almost broke it here. Bengals' speedy defense keeps that from happening, but this kid Etienne is special, and he's only going to get better. A couple plays later, he caps it off, and the route is back on. 2-yard touchdown for Etienne. Jags lead 28-7, and they do not look back for the rest of this game. Bengals' next drive, and the Jags pass rush wins this one. Dwayne Smoot gets around the edge, and when it rains, it pours for Cincy. That pushes him back 13 yards, and as the late, great Billy Mays once said, "But wait, there's more!" I may have used that Billy Mays line before, and I probably will again at some point, but either way, this time it's Devon Hamilton, and it's a loss of 10. So back-to-back plays, resulting in 23 yards lost for Trey and the Bengals. The score is ugly, but to his credit, he does not roll over. 3rd and 33, down by 21, minute and a half left in the third, and Joe Burrow makes the last good play for Cincinnati that kind of means anything. He launches one to his right for Boyd, who makes the catch at the 36 and holds onto it through some serious violence on his way to the ground. That is a strong play from the Bengals wide receiver, but it wasn't quite enough. Maybe it would have helped if they had finished this drive off with a touchdown, but they did not. Trey Herndon jumps it, and even though it's still not quite the fourth quarter, that feels like the dagger. Return to the 36, and if it wasn't enough to put it away, this would be. A couple minutes later, now they're on the 22-yard line. Suddenly, they're not on the 22-yard line anymore. Lawrence hits Etienne for his 4th touchdown of the game. 2 rushing, 2 receiving. He was no doubt the player of the game in this one. 157 yards on the ground, 46 through the air, and the 4 touchdowns. Just a fantastic performance from the rookie halfback. Lawrence had 145 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, and no picks, and that's called being responsible with the football. A good recipe for success if he and Etienne can keep playing the way they have so far. Joe Burrow didn't have a terrible game, but the numbers make it sound a lot worse than it was. 12 for 24 with 221 yards and a touchdown, but 5 picks. Can't expect to win a lot when they're ending your drives prematurely like that. Joe Mixon ran for 127, but no touchdowns, and no one caught for over 100, so Burrow was spreading it out pretty nicely. Again, the 50% completion rate and 5 picks makes it sound like he was much worse than he was, but there's no reason to hit the panic button in the second-year LSU grad just yet. Here are the rest of the scores from Week 4. Chiefs and Raiders stay perfect as they jockey for position at the top of the AFC West. Texans and Colts also won one-score games to keep pace with each other in the South. And in the other conference in the South, New Orleans, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and Carolina all won, so no ground was gained or lost there. Ignoring those records, it's nice to see the competition even out a little bit from Week 1 when there was nothing but blowouts. Fantastic action here in the Madden Avengers League. And that's going to do it for us this week. Final score from the Queen City: Jaguars 38, Bengals 7. For more Max content, including live broadcasts, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ace510 and subscribe on YouTube to see highlights as soon as I post them. For players in the league, make sure to archive your streams for your chance to be featured in the game of the week. I'm Ace510, and I'll see you next time right here on the Max Broadcast Network.